night. Have a great day. And take care of yourselves. And if I could leave you with anything today, what I've learned, okay? What Cozy learned. If you're different, if people call you weird, it's a good thing. Most people, they go their whole life making sure they're stepping right so nobody laughs at them, making sure they sound cool, that they look cool, to not be judged or teased. Those are actions to get approval, praise from other people, to have other people be proud of them, live for others. If you find yourself being that weird, dorky person who has no confidence, who doesn't like themselves, feels ashamed to be themselves because they get outcasted, because they're the black sheep, because they're called those weird names, or they're just called weird. People don't understand you, you feel misunderstood. Lean into that as much as you can, as much as it's obviously not giving you any social credit right now. Don't be afraid to keep discovering yourself. Don't be afraid to get to know yourself by being yourself. Granted, if you're being inappropriate, obviously, don't do that. But if you're just being you, maybe you're just comfortable being vulnerable, maybe you're silly, maybe you don't take life so seriously and you have fun a lot of the time. Maybe people want to shush you from having a good time, from being expressive, or whatever the case may be. Lean into that. You never know what your life could be had you contained that, had you contained your weirdness, had you just conform. You'd be a different person. You'd be just like everybody else. So by all means, if you're weird, it's a good thing. That means you're you. You stand out. You're unique. That's what many people aspire to be. They wish they could be that comfortable with themselves in order to be able to be okay with being called weird, okay with being different, okay with being unapologetically themselves. They'll project onto others just to make sure that, they can project their insecurities, they don't know how to deal with it, that nobody accepted them, so they'll do that to other people. Don't listen to it, Just don't. If that was the case for me, I wouldn't be here now. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've been inappropriate. I've also been called weird. I've also been, all those things, but I learned from it. Now I know what boundaries are. Now I know what other people's boundaries may or may not be, to the point where I'll respect them. Maybe it's just what's appropriate for being in public, what's appropriate for friendships, what's appropriate for anything, what's appropriate for, positive self-expression or whatever the case is. Or, maybe I realized my outfit's not hurting anybody, not actually, you know what I mean? So what if it's really bright? So what if, it's avant-garde and odd looking, or whatever the case is, or maybe they're not popular tones, or whatever the case is. So what if my interests are different than theirs, as long as I liked them, and I'm not hurting anybody, as long as I'm not doing those things, I have every right to enjoy what I like. So do you. Whatever that means, even if it's fucking sitting at a park bench and writing down different names of birds. I don't care. If it's fun for you, if it's relaxing for you, and you're not hurting anybody, by all means, lean into it. And if you have to protect it, so be it. But don't evade yourself. Don't abandon yourself for gratification from people who have lives you probably don't want. or they're not seeking their true potential, or not living true to themselves. You know, so I kind of go back to that phrase or idea in my head where it's like, okay, I've always been this way. Take advice from people you want to live by. I've been able to address the hypocrisy in my family and even amongst the small, intimate household that I had lived in and grown up in. You know, with my mom, my dad, for whenever my dad was there. And it was very important to me to be able to take advice from people I wanted to live by, who genuinely had things that made sense for their life, things they talked about that they genuinely worked towards and that they had based on the advice they'd given. They took their own advice, maybe even their character or what have you it may have been. I admired it, you know, and not just talked about good character, but acted in it. Watched them act in gratitude and all those things. I modeled after those kinds of people, even when I really failed to have an example around me. Looked inward and said, there's still other people like that. I could be like that. And all they're doing is being like that. So if those same people are telling me how I need to be when I'm watching them suppress themselves, I'm watching them be hypocrites, I'm watching them fuck up, and I'm watching them not have the life they want, but they want me to have one that's better. You know, their focus is not even on my happiness. It's just about what I have or what I can do or what I can provide. So don't listen to them. Whatever's going to make you happy, do that. And then, if you can, set your ego aside and say, if this is the life that I want, if I want certain things in my life, what do I need to do to be able to be comfortable living my life? That way I won't feel like I'm just working to live or working to get by. I can do this to make sure I'm happy for the rest of my life, and it'll meet all my needs. Whatever it may be. Probably has nothing to do with a job. Maybe it's just a hobby you want to pursue on the side and you live comfortably. Do what you want. Have time to do that. Make time to do it. Make time to address yourself of what you like and focus on what you like. It's important. It's important to be you. It's important. More people should be themselves. And I think that's most of the time where fear comes in is, you know, everybody wants to be liked. And people who don't care to be liked, I've seen them be probably the best. The best at heart and character. Granted, you know, there's bad people out there. There's some people who don't care about the compassion, to have compassion or capacity for others. That's different. I just mean somebody who's confident in themselves when they know their heart is true and they have integrity behind closed doors. Of course, things get to us, but at some point, that's what confidence is. Having to not care about what people think of them, having not to care if they're accepted or liked, so long as they didn't abandon themselves. So don't. I encourage you, and if I can give you anything today, don't abandon yourself and be you. Okay, I'll see you.